I believe by investing in Bitcoin, Tesla has done a really smart move, and it's actually giving them an advantage over the Chinese competitors such as XPeng and NIO. But first off, 首先我要说新年快乐，恭喜发财。I'm wishing everyone a happy Chinese New Year, the year of the ox, the bull market, and I hope that you guys are spending some time with your families and enjoying it, and I wish you all of the best for 2021, and I hope that you guys follow along in 2021 with this channel, so make sure to subscribe and give this video a quick like. Now back to the topic of this video, and first off I have to say that I'm invested of course in NIO, and also I'm very long on Tesla and on Bitcoin of course, so for me, this is not another NIO versus Tesla debate here. In fact, I saw this clip on CNBC with this investor, and this lady was really about absolutely not understanding who NIO is, and she makes really very dumb comparisons towards Tesla.
This is an EV company out of China, listed in the US. It's gotten help from the Chinese government. It's gotten, subsidies. It's got looser restrictions. It has not really delivered, along with, by the way, other local Chinese EV companies. Tesla is crushing it compared to them.
So I don't really want to further comment on that, other than that this really shows that the understanding of NIO is still really early among the general public. I think as an investor in both NIO and Tesla, the aspect of Bitcoin is something that we need to take into consideration for the macro picture, because it could actually change a lot. So Tesla added $1.5 billion of Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and I think this could be a game changer. It provided a competitive advantage for Tesla against the Chinese EV players, because they cannot add Bitcoin onto their balance sheet, or at least it's very unlikely, as the Chinese government has forbidden the use of Bitcoin. Therefore, it is quite unlikely that there will be an exception for Bitcoin for Chinese companies, even if they are listed overseas. Now, one fundamental value of Bitcoin is that it is hard money. There is no way of increasing the supply, which means that if there is a demand for it, the price for Bitcoin will go up. And by investing in Bitcoin, Tesla has sent a sign and a signal to other corporates to join Tesla in order to put some Bitcoin onto their balance sheet, either as a way of adopting, as it means a transactional currency, which is not the main benefit of Bitcoin in my views, but rather as a hedge to inflation and as a store of value over time. So you can watch my earlier videos where I explain my 10x investment hypothesis in Bitcoin, and just as a quick summary, I have a personal price target of hitting $250,000 per Bitcoin this year, and ultimately I think it could go well beyond $500,000 per coin. Now this is not investment advice, just my personal opinion where I would see a fully valued Bitcoin. But therefore, I believe that Tesla's Bitcoin holding will go up over time, giving Tesla a new way of creating shareholder value and essentially also gaining new funding. So the $1.5 billion may well turn into $15 billion and enable Tesla to build more gigafactories. In contrast, NIO or other Chinese EV players would still need to tap into the markets in order to raise new cash. Thereby, they would dilute their shareholders, so this has negative effects on the stock price. So in summary, I think Tesla has a unique advantage here, which others don't have and they simply cannot copy. The major advantage here is the possible appreciation of the asset price, besides other propositions such as accepting payments or also ways of connecting, for instance, their solar charging business with Bitcoin mining. And I think the case that Bitcoin goes up is more likely than that it is falling. This gives Tesla an advantage in financing new R&D or investment projects. And on a macro picture, this is really interesting also for other companies. This channel is all about investing in Chinese companies, and I've spoken previously about how COVID really has changed the rules of the games and how China is kind of in an advantage right now, how they solved the situation and how they had to spend, for instance, less on financing or new stimulus packages and so on. But now Bitcoin Bitcoin could actually change this dynamic a little bit. What if all Western companies take a little bit of Bitcoin onto their balance sheet and thereby increasing the value of it? This is something that Chinese companies simply cannot tap into. And although China is also working on their own digital currency, but it will not have the aspects of Bitcoin in terms of that the monetization policy is decentralized and there cannot be more created of it. So in the end, this kind of could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this, frankly, could be an advantage of the West in this race about tech distribution and power dynamics in the world. So that's definitely something to think about in the broader dynamics of the markets. It doesn't have necessarily bad influences on NIO because I think they're now well capitalized in terms of that they can execute on their projects, but it's clearly an advantage here for Tesla. And as I mentioned before, there's kind of no way how NIO can actually tap into this dynamic as well. So yeah, these are my views. Just want to put it out there in the world. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it down below. And then once again, see you in the next video, and thanks for liking the video.